Hi there, folks. Simon here. Welcome back to the 2024 January Beginner Tack Tournament. This is the Blitz Tiebreaker for the finals of this tournament, and that is between dayofni and Spawnoza. They have already played their first games, and they split them both. So today, we're going to see them play in Blitz. That means 3 minutes on the clock, a 5 second increment. They're still playing on the 6x6 board here. And let's just say these two players are fairly evenly matched. So I think we're going to see some great play here. I think dayofni has quite a bit more experience in Blitz, especially in this tournament with all the Blitz tiebreakers she's had to play. So I think we're going to see some great play though, and I'm looking forward to it. So without any further ado whatsoever, let's jump right in to game one of this finals Blitz tiebreaker match. And again, these are 2 game matches. If they split this, then they play another 2 until somebody wins both games in a match. So that was further ado. So now, without further ado, let's jump right in to game one. All right, and we see the A1 and F6 played opposite corner opening here. And then going straight into that Knights opening for dayofni. Interesting, they have not played the Knights opening this whole time. They've been going for center control. This is the first time dayofni has played for this Knights opening. And interestingly, played essentially the wrong follow-up move for that that D3 placement. Plays over at C5, or for the C3 placement. Plays at C. Should have played at C5, instead played at D4. But we're going to see things change a little bit. That black capstone is in a fantastic position. Really, really great for messing up what white's going for here. White trying to still go for this vertical line, it looks like, or maybe just trying to mess up with black's potential threats here. Black's got a pretty solid spot, able to go long for the horizontal down at the bottom, able to work for a vertical a little bit with a little bit more effort. But white still has something going for this vertical here. Surprised they didn't try to go for the horizontal along the top, as they had a little bit more easy going up there, but they would have been leaving alone black's threats down at the bottom. So they are playing off to the side down here. Looks like they might be really just preparing to take care of all of black's threats more so than working on their own. So this is likely going to be met with something like a B3, as that looks like they're going for the horizontal, is met with B3. Now black probably going to play down here at E1 to work for that vertical and the horizontal along the bottom. E1 works for both of those and is a pretty solid play here. F2 would also work, and that's what they played, because that is a direct threat now. Coming down with that flat would have been a road. White instead comes over to interrupt that. Now white is threatening to be able to make a road threat on the following turn. Playing up here at D6 would be a threat. Capturing left with D1 onto C1 would be a road there after the D6 placement. So black still has some time though. Even dropping a wall here at B2 or B3 is a great play, and that's exactly what they do. Able to come over here onto C3 as a follow-up. I think white should still just play up at D6. This works for that vertical threat here, and they're working for that horizontal at the same time. White still has the opportunity to smash that wall, and it's exactly what they do. Now coming right with that capstone would be making a threat, or just dropping another flat here at C4, which dropping the other flat is probably the preferable move here. Yep, after black comes left, you want to drop that flat at C4, and that way you can keep going for this vertical threat. Black's going to be able to kind of cut that off a little bit, maybe drop a wall of their own on C5 here, but overall, dropping that flat on C4 is a good play here. You could also come over with partial of this capstone, that way you're going for this horizontal as well as going for this vertical. And that's exactly what they do. And they're also cutting off black's capstone from the rest of black's action down here. And that is a big, big play because Black's capstone wants to be involved here. And they drop another wall to sort of get that stack in to be able to kind of force this cap to make some moves, maybe make a capture on it. But that's a strong, strong wall there because they know that if white does smash that, black's going to be able to get on top of that that stack there, and that's going to be good. So white does place at A2, baiting in that wall. Let's see if they go for the smash or if they have some other plan up their sleeve. Maybe placing a flat down at E1, maybe placing a flat over at F3 to go for that tack threat. And that's exactly what to do. F3 for the flat, or for the tack threat. Now, black's probably going to come down with this wall stack. I would recommend coming down with the whole thing onto C2. That way you are making a tack threat by spreading up or left. So white won't be able to stop this with any sort of placement, whether wall or flat. So white's going to have to make a capture here. And comes down with the capstone. Interesting play. Black can spread this left. Would be allowing white to recover some liabilities there. But just going to maintain this and play at E3 or E1. And this stops white from being able to smash that wall. Because if they did, they would lose to a road. And so black has essentially pinned white to make it incapable of smashing this wall. Smart play there, going for the aggression there to stop that in a defensive way. It's a really, really good play. White comes down with that flat to cut that off, give them the opportunity to smash yet again. But black renews by playing there at F1. If white wants to cut them off completely, they're going to have to do something like D1 right here and switch gears, go for this vertical threat. And you know what? They might as well go for the vertical threat right now anyway. Just play up here at F4 and just kind of go for it. Instead, they make a capture down onto E1. Black might want to drop another wall here at E2. A flat also totally works here. Yep, black drops a flat, knowing they will win any sort of capture war here on E1. Let's see. White going along the top, saying, all right, I'll go for this horizontal up on the top end. And that's exactly what they do, playing up at E6. Aliano2 says that's what they wanted him to do, and you know what? He's a good guy to to be imitating there. So Alian says that was a good play. That's probably a good play. For those not aware, he is currently the #1 player and the TAC champion, and also the newly crowned Dragon, which is a new title we have. But yeah, he's pretty good, is what we're trying to say. Black playing up above to sort of block that off. We do see Spawnoza in black down below the 1 minute mark here. dayofni playing quite a bit quicker. Black moves that capstone up yet again. All right, let's see how white will respond to that. And I was going to say that vertical off to the right-hand side is looking pretty nice. It's wide open for him right now. Black's probably going to play a flat here at F5, which will likely just be followed up by an E5 flat from white. Yeah, so black does play F5. Will white play E5? Goes for a wall instead. Now that's interesting because that basically ruins their own chance at a vertical road with that. Interesting play, that one. Now, black potentially going for a vertical here. Going to be able to use this stack to do that. Black dropping yet another wall. Interesting. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for black. 13 for white. So white is up on flats by 2 at this point. So it is in white's best interest to just keep dropping flats. But they went for the flat on flat capture here instead. This is going to allow that wall to capture that and maybe make some better plays here in a little bit. White captures down again. This is going to open up another opportunity for black to drop a wall here at f6 to come down and then make a huge positive flag on differential to kind of catch up. Goes for the flat instead. White's going to capture over. This is not a tack threat, but it's getting there. Now this is bad. This is bad. Black's going to want to come over onto that f6, and white really doesn't have any answer to that, and that's going to be pretty brutal. White's probably going to have to self-capture here with their e5 wall to keep it from being too bad, but black might decide to smash it. Probably not. But black decides to make that capture over there. Black wants to make some positive flag on differential moves. They do go for the smash. White can spread left. Black can spread down. Black can come out ahead on flats in this. But black does still have this +3 move as well available to him. White now making another tack threat. Black moved left with the capstan instead of down to defend against that threat. That wall spreads left. Will this wall spread left? White making another tack threat here. Wall drops. Will we see a wall or a flat on d3? We do see a flat on d3. Wall spreads up and oh wow, wall spreading up. White making yet another threat here at d2. Probably should have dropped at c2, because then you'd have the capstone to finish it off. b1 right here is probably good. No, misses the threat entirely. Low on time. I mean, had 11 seconds on the clock, so of course missed that one. But yeah, here, black fills in. White captures left. b1 should capture right, but low on time. Misses it. Comes down with this wall, thinking there wasn't a threat there from this capstone. Probably a capstone blindness issue. That is a real thing. And then comes across, comes right back up with that stack and wins with the road. So congratulations to dayofni for winning game 1 in this Blitz tiebreaker match. Now, they've still got another one to play. If dayofni wins as black in game 2, she will win the whole tournament and get first pick of those prizes. However, if Spawnoza wins in game 2, they will have to play another 2 games against each other in this Blitz format. So I'm sure that they both kind of want this over with. But I'm also sure that they both want to win. So we'll see how this one turns out. I expect another really close game. And yeah, it's going to be good. Here's game 2 with Spawnoza in white and dayofni in black. I would like to remind everyone that this is a beginner tournament. These guys have excelled and just improved incredibly throughout the course of this tournament. This is not the level they were at when they started. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right, here we go with the f6, a1, opposite corners again, and Spawnoza going for the night's opening. Let's see how dayofni responds, and probably going to be playing here after this b4, c3 or a3. You're going to do the plays. Does go for the c3. I like a capstone here at d3, or just another flat is fine as well. Goes for the a3, going to be going for that that two-pronged threat here, keeping momentum in both directions. If dayofni plays here, white can continue this direction, or, you know, drop a... Oh, this is a great spot for a capstone here on d4. And Spawnoza knows it. That is a very, very common placement for a capstone, and it is ideal. We talk about it in the capstones video of TAC University. Follows a lot of those guidelines in that video. So let's take a look at this capstone from black. Not a bad position either. This works okay for their positioning. A4 drop's going to go for that vertical threat, but black being able to come up here with that capstone is pretty nice as well. I like that. White's got a pretty solid situation here. Black's dropping a wall early to cut off that vertical. White can just play around it at this point, inviting something to happen. Maybe that wall come up on a3, I feel like, is a good play here for black. If white does play up at a6 to make that threat, bringing that wall up on a3 is good because it also works against any sort of horizontal, because that is the anchor point for the horizontal as well. Interesting. Black comes up with the b1 instead onto b2. All right. Interesting. A lot of flat-on-flat captures here. We do talk about that in the captures video of TAC University. The flat-on-flat capture is often not a great way to go, and the top players typically go without a flat-on-flat capture until move 20-something. So them getting a couple of them in before move 10 is pretty wild here. All right, white making attack threat here in the horizontal direction. Now black canceling it and making their own in the vertical. White, you know, probably being able to drop a flat here at b6 is great because they cut it off with just a flat placement, able to capture down onto b5 after that in order to make their own threat here. Not a bad play. All right, white instead captures right. Interesting. That is a attack threat, yes. And it does cut off black's threat, but I really don't like that because a wall could drop here at a4, and I see that Alion is saying the same thing, and that is just inviting that wall to capture onto b4. Really, really strong spot for a wall there. And not only that, but it also is exactly what we talk about in the walls video of TAC University. I'm mentioning it a lot in this one, but yes, these things come up. Playing walls offensively is a really, really great tactic, and one that we've seen people learn and pick up a lot more easily and a lot quicker these days. In the past, walls were used very defensively, but with all the resources out there and people seeing these top level play, we're seeing that that offensive walls are being picked up by players earlier and earlier. Okay, so white runs away from that wall, capturing upwards, but also, you know, that black wall follows it right away. So white can place again to renew that threat. Placing a flat here at b4 is pretty good. Not unbeatable. Oh, wait, it's Tinue, I'm pretty sure, because white placing here a flat. It's a threat here up at b6. It's a threat here at a4. White can place at b6 and win with a road right now, and they do it. Very, very quick Tinue. It would have been Tinue. It wasn't quite yet. Basically, what happens is they had one move, and that one move is to 2b3 plus, and then this comes down, and then that's a connector here or here for a road, and that would have been it. So it didn't really matter what dayofni did there. Spawnoza would have won regardless. But you know what that means? Spawnoza has won game 2, which means they have split their first 2 games in this 2-game match. And that means they have to play yet another 2-game match in order to determine who wins. So great ability to spot that Tinue here in the Blitz match. Pretty solid. I like that. And he may not have even seen it, right? Sometimes you just think this is probably a great move to play, and then you play it, and then later you realize that it was a Tinue. That's totally a thing that can happen. But yeah, great play from these guys, and we're gonna see yet another 2-game match. So this will be pretty fun. Oh, game 3 has begun. Check it out. We got opposite corners and dayofni not going for the Knight's opening this time, going straight for that center control. Also playing up above at d5 instead of playing down below at d3, which would make a lot more sense. Opening up a spot for black to drop that capstone. I feel like dayofni really needs to figure out these openings, because dayofni is essentially making a lot of it's really not another good way to say it, bad plays in the openings, leaving themselves open for these sort of things. Maybe these better players like Aliano2 can correct me on that, but they feel like they are not taking advantage of their positioning and their opponent's positioning. But here we see a pretty solid spot. And Alian does say this looks really strong for a white. So maybe I'm way wrong, but it felt like white was giving up momentum. And now Alian is saying the opposite here. So really interesting to see that. And maybe it's just that black didn't capitalize on their momentum after they made those placements. Maybe dayofni is intentionally baiting out a capstone placement in that place because they have a plan for it. I'm not aware, but we are seeing this sort of crawl here on the right hand side. Not a complete edge crawl, of course. You do have the option to go across horizontally on that 5 row. You have the capstone there that'll block that, of course, but the vertical is a lot stronger. And yeah, it looks pretty nice. Black dropping a wall early really wants to say, no, I do not want your vertical threats to happen. So we might see whites play maybe at d6 or maybe down at e2 or f2. They do play at e2, continuing for this vertical line. Black might decide to play like b4 here, knowing that they can cut off the threat with a capture up or a capture down. They do go for the capture up away from that capstone. They don't make the wall move. Let's see, white playing at f4. Yeah, black's not looking too bad here. White will win a stack war on f5. I don't know about this. But that invites another wall to drop, and there really isn't anything to capture on with the spread. Yeah, white needs to switch gears here away from this vertical edge crawl. Yeah, white's going to have a struggle right now. Black, what do they do here? They're playing at b4, maybe planning on coming down or up onto d5. White captures up onto f5. We're going to see. I did not expect that. No, this feels that I don't think that was the right play. I think you needed to come right with e5 here. this is setting up for a strong, strong position here for white. Yeah, you've got to bring this. That's your only move here. 2d4 right. Now, white can come down with this stack on e5 to set up for a Tinue, but they drop a wall instead, and I feel like that's giving up a lot here. Yeah, you've kind of given things up by dropping that wall. You should have come down with a capture or captured your own. The wall kind of kills you a little bit. But white is pushing forwards. Black able to capture onto that big stack here at d5. Shuts down a little bit of what white wants to go for. White, if they really want to push for this vertical, they're going to play at e6, but I don't think that's a good idea. They need to pivot, shift gears, go for this horizontal. They need to play at b2, a2, and cut this off. Because black is going to have free reign to go for this vertical here, and white is not going to be able to shut them down and still go for their own stuff here. So white's got to be playing at a2 here. If they don't play at a2, it's not going to be looking good for them. Oh, wow. White making a self-capture, self-smash. A little early on that one. Black might wall here at e3. That might be the play. Spawnoza down on time. The wall is placed. If white smashes, they have a threat still in the vertical direction. Black can come down with that flat. That's the only move they've got, besides moving that wall over, that wall stack over. Or you could just drop another wall. They brought the wall over. White self-captures again. Really interesting. I don't think they have the momentum for this. Black can play at a2 and make a threat. Yes, plays at c5 to make the threat. It's really close to Tinue. Yeah, Elion is right. Play at c5. Comes over. Black can get to Tinue with one capture here. Yeah, so white playing this self-capture game, while that is a huge, powerful, strong stack, ooh. Okay, black playing at a3. Wanting to play at a2 on the following turn. Comes left here. Is this... That's not enough for a road. One, and then you didn't do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's not enough. Black comes down with their own capstone self-capture. That is wild. White making attack threat here, playing at e6. Able to spread up and smash. Yep, gotta drop that. Will white move over onto d3? Or will white play at d4 first? No, white drops a wall at d4 to come up onto d5. Yeah, this is not attack threat from black, but white's going to come up with that wall on d5 here. Now probably going to come left with that wall. Does bring the whole thing left. This is not a threat. White's going to have to take this wall stack, spread it, and that's what they do. This also opens up a vertical threat for them. Black missed it. White's able to spread upwards for the road. Black missed it. They were defending. They were doing something against that wall. They saw that wall play as purely defensive. Now, this is a thing that I've talked about in a lot of games, where you make a play, you wait to make the move that is offensive for you until it's a forced defensive move. And at this point, it was the only move White had to defend against this road. They make that play, and this opens up the spot for the road in the vertical direction for him. Black has to throw left. White able to move up for the win. Now, I will say that Black was down to 2 seconds on the clock, or no, 7 seconds on the clock when they made that move. So, yes, time was part of that, but also just setting up that move and making the move in the right time was pretty big. I've done that before in games, and I've intentionally waited to make those moves. It's pretty solid. But dayofni takes game 3 in this Blitz tiebreaker. So we'll see. Maybe it'll happen again where Spawnoza wins as White in game 4 and we have to play it again. Or maybe we'll see something happen in this one where dayofni wins as Black. But we will jump right in. Here is game 4. Spawnoza in White, dayofni in Black. Opposite corners. Spawnoza going straight for that Knight's opening. And then this same opening we saw in game 2. Black dropping a capstone now at d3 instead. And we've seen a play here where a wall was dropped at a2 in the past. I think we're probably going to see another one, exactly what we saw in the first time. And we did see a follow-up flat on b1 before. But I'm not sure if that was actually dayofni playing as Black then, or if it was Spawnoza playing as Black. But either way, very, very similar game. Very similar game here. I think this is the game where Spawnoza got a Tinuwe, maybe? I don't know. It's all blending together for me at this point. But White continuing to play, playing down at c1, going for that vertical. The vertical is looking very strong right now for White. White able to play up at a6 here to go for a threat. Black has no threat currently. a6 is looking really good for White, as that is a attack threat that cannot be stopped with the capture up with b1 that we saw in a previous game. Instead, interestingly, playing at c2. Coming up with the wall invites White to come down with this capstone, and that really messes up a lot of what Black's going for here. But White can continue to make a threat here by playing at a6, and that's what they do. Spawnoza able to come left onto b4 for a road. This is actually looking pretty solid for White. I like White's positioning here. I think they're playing good for good position at this point. All right, White playing down at d1. That makes sense. I like that. a2 makes a lot of sense because White really wants a2, so you want to take a2 for Black. Black, instead playing over at e3, a2 made the most sense because a2 gives Black an anchor point on the left-hand side of the board, which they didn't have before. Black, instead trying to shift gears, go for the vertical on the right-hand side of the board, which also makes sense, but you do have that White capstone that can toss over to e5 here. White plays now at a2. This is the attack threat. Black's going to have to come left with f1, and they do so. Will White come? Oh, White comes left with f2. I did not expect that move. Will Black come down here with e2? I think they should. I think they should have come down with e2, because if White followed up with a wall, Black could toss the capstone for for a smash. I liked that idea. Oh, Allion saying to toss the capstone to a4. Yes, that is a threat, but it's a crazy threat. I don't I don't like it. It's not a great threat, but yes, it is a possible thing. I don't think we're going to see it in a beginner blitz match. That's totally something you would see in a game where I'm playing blitz, though. Oh, white follows up with a wall here at f2, potentially planning on dropping another wall at d2 to keep this wall from moving left or right. Interesting play there. I did really like that e3 minus move instead of dropping the wall here for black on d2. White plays at d3. This keeps black from being able to fill in there at d3 to get that connection with their capstone. Also allows white to... Oh, white's got to drop a wall here probably. Oh, no, they're capturing down. Now white's going to come left onto e2. Yes. That wasn't great. Yeah, that wasn't great for white at all. White would have been better off dropping another wall, I think. They had to drop another wall anyway. Let's see. Black just continuing to drop flats and flats and flats and flats. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 for black. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 for white. Black does have a +2 move available to him. White has none. White does have opportunities to make some threats here pretty quickly, though. Able to drop a flat at d5 and d6 for a threat, or b4 and then capture right for a threat. Black captures down. That makes it harder to make a threat now. White comes up. Now, ooh, if I'm black, I really want to smash that. I really want to smash that. Would it potentially even be Tinue if you smash that? Unless there's a momentum thing. No, I think that it works. Okay, 24, move 24. I think smashing might be Tinue after the E2 placement. Now you smash. You gotta smash this, right? You gotta smash this. Because now it's a threat. Yes, does go for the smash. White's cutoff here is to throw this wall up to f4. Yeah, wall needs to throw up to f4. No, missed the road entirely. White missed the road. Black can just move over to the left. That means black has won. dayofni has won game 4. And that means dayofni has won the 2024 January Beginner TAC Tournament. So congratulations to dayofni. Well played, Spawnoza here. But yeah, great play here. And they were fairly even on time as well. But great play. A lot of fun to watch these matches for sure. So thanks. Thanks for putting on the show for me. That was a lot of fun. And thanks everybody who participated in this tournament. Saw some really fun games, had some great gameplay in here, and a lot of people have improved greatly over the course of this tournament, as is often the case in these beginner tournaments. So thanks everybody for playing, and well played to everybody. And congratulations again to dayofni for winning the tournament, and congratulations to Spawnoza for taking second place. Awesome. You guys are probably... I know dayofni is now disqualified from all future beginner tournaments. Spawnoza, you probably are also. Just saying. But yeah, we got a beginner tournament starting tomorrow. Or no, sorry, not beginner, intermediate tournament starting tomorrow that I know Spawnoza will be playing in. dayofni does not have the time, unfortunately, but hey, there's always another tournament around the corner. So well played. And even Alionos who says that was really solid for a beginner tournament. Absolutely it was. So thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to check out the description below for all things TAC, especially the TAC Discord server, which is where you can find all sorts of TAC resources like strategy guides and people to play with, whether that be right here on playtac.com or asynchronously through the Discord server itself. Tons and tons of great resources, tons of great people to play with, and just great TAC. Love TAC. So thanks again, and until next time, have a great day and happy tagging.